Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about a drama film called The Whore from 2010. A lot of interesting things are waiting for you. Marie Scherer is the charming daughter of a wealthy fabric merchant. She is in love with a simple boy named Michel and meets him on a date by the river. At the same time, King Sigmund changes the order in the church and orders a threefold reduction in the number of priests, announcing an upcoming conclave. Father Marie has a business meeting with Count von Keilberg. The man takes notice of the beautiful girl and offers to marry her to his son. Rupertus is a bastard, but he promises to officially recognize him the day before the wedding so that Marie can become a countess. Matisse trustingly accepts the count's offer and in the evening tells her daughter that she will become Rupertus's wife. The girl herself is against it, but no one asks her opinion, so the wedding will take place in a month. Meanwhile, the count and his son are discussing the cloth merchant's property, as they want to rob him. The next morning, Rupertus comes to Marie to get to know her better, but she refuses the groom. The girl is not going to get married, and her father will not be able to convince her. Michel finds out about the wedding and refuses Marie, because Rupertus is a scoundrel and a man who forges documents and promissory notes. The girl understands everything and is ready to run away with her beloved anywhere. While the couple is spending time by the river, Marie's father signs a marriage contract, according to which he will lose all his property if it turns out that his daughter is not a virgin before the wedding. In the evening, a guard under Hunold arrives at her aunt's house to arrest Marie for lewdness and bring her to the church court. During a search of the house, they find jewelry that proves the girl's guilt, as she received it as a reward for her actions. At this time, Marie returns home and is immediately arrested. In the dungeon, Hunold orders the other guards to make their rounds and takes advantage of this. He chains the girl to the bars and tears her clothes, after which Utzkuffli appears in the cell and uses Marie by force. Rupertus, who pays for the falsification of the indictment against her, watches from outside. At dawn, a woman comes to the cell. The girl hopes for her help, but this is impossible, as she has received money for her silence and helps Marie get rid of the traces of blood. When they try to take her to the court hearing, she confesses to her father that she has been disgraced. Matisse attacks the guards with his fists, but they take his life for the attack. Michel couldn't wait for his beloved on the riverbank and rushed to her house to find out what had happened. At the church trial, Marie is accused of being a harlot and leading a depraved lifestyle. The girl tries to justify herself, but witnesses prove the opposite. Among them is a woman who delivered a baby and helped the girl with tissues. The court finds the girl guilty and offers her a choice. The punishment is 20 lashes and life imprisonment, or life as a nun in a convent. Marie refuses to admit her guilt and is ready to take the punishment, promising to take revenge on anyone who accuses her of something she did not do. Later, Hunold carries out the punishment and orders one of the soldiers to take the girl to the outskirts of the city. She begs to be taken to the river and enters the water, after which she disappears. Believing that the girl has drowned, the soldier informs Michel, but he does not believe his words because Marie is a good swimmer. In the evening, Count Keilberg learns what has happened and rejoices in his victory. Rupertus pays Hunold for his service and asks his father to recognize him as his legitimate son, but he refuses because the marriage contract has not yet entered into force. In the morning, the wandering harlots find the wounded Marie in the bushes and help her. Not everyone is happy about this, but some of the women sympathize with the girl and try to heal her wounds. Meanwhile, Michel notices a boy in the river and rescues him. The boy's father turned out to be Pfalzgraf Ludwig III, who offered the boy a place among his guards. Marie recovers from her wounds, and the women offer her a new dress to try on. The girl refuses because it has yellow ribbons, a symbol of harlots. In the evening, she changes her mind, but promises to be free only until she earns enough money to take revenge on her abusers and restore justice. Later, Marie takes the pseudonym Hannah and befriends one of the girls, after which she learns her horrific story. The girl was sold and the owner used her by force. Despite this, she does not give up and decides that she will decide her own fate, choosing how and what to do. In the first town on the wandering harlot's path, Marie takes in a soldier in her tent. Kleiner is inexperienced and frightened, but the girl does not drive him away, and the couple eventually fall in love. After that, Gerlin gives Marie a knife for self-defense, and Giltrude shows her how to use it and where to strike. Meanwhile, Kleiner returns to the unit under Michel's command and offers him a date with a free girl. But he refuses, still having feelings for Marie. Realizing that men pay attention to appearance, Marie sews herself a beautiful new dress before they reach the next town. In the morning, a wealthy man takes notice of her, but he turns out to be bossy and rude. Having won Marie over, he tries to take her away by force, but this triggers unpleasant memories from the dungeon. The girl bites the client's hand, and Gerlin helps to drive him away, realizing that this person will want to take revenge on them. Marie plunges deeper and deeper into the abyss of depravity and eventually turns into Anna, a wandering girl who gives men moments of joy in exchange for money. At the market, she meets a girl in a beautiful dress who buys expensive fabrics. Marie is well versed in this and exposes the seller who decided to deceive the inexperienced buyer. The girls get to know each other better, and it turns out that Madeleine is Sigmund's mistress, which allows her to live in prosperity and make love to only one man. On the way to the next town, Mary notices a tent with the Count's coat of arms and realizes that this is her opportunity to make new acquaintances and connections necessary to achieve her goals. She says goodbye to her friends and goes to the selection, dreaming of becoming the Count's mistress. As it turns out, the selection is not conducted by the Count, but by his pregnant wife who wants to find a mistress for her husband. Countess von Arnstein likes the girl's looks and audacity, so she accepts Mary's candidacy and allows her to take Gerlina with her. On the way, the Countess explains the rules of life in her estate and warns the harlot not to be too kind and gentle with her husband. Soon they stop for the night, and Marie notices that Michel will be in charge of security. At night, she meets her former lover and confesses that she has become a traveling girl. Her name is now Hannah, and she is done with her past life. At the same time, she dreams of revenge and justice. She suggests that Michel forget about her existence forever, because Marie is gone. Meanwhile, Kyleberg and his son realize that they still don't have enough money. His ancestor once lost lands that now belong to Count Dietmar von Arnstein. Rupertus suggests that he bribe his brother Jodocus and forge documents to claim the lost lands. Upon arriving in the county, Marie overhears the conversation and learns about the oppression of the Kylebergs, which enrages Dietmar. In the evening, she invites the man to play chess and demonstrates that she is not only beautiful, but also intelligent. The Count is confused by this and makes love to the girl. After that, Marie tries to find out more about the conflict, but realizes that Dietmar is a pawn in the woman's hands and does not solve anything. Disappointed, she suggests that they play chess next time, because the man is not capable of making independent decisions. The next morning, Maria decides to confess and almost tells the truth about herself, but she is interrupted by the Count's wife, who forbids the harlot to communicate with the priest. It is the spring of 1415. King Sigmund arrives in Constance. Kyleberg and his son forge a document on the ownership of the land. In order to be recognized as legitimate, the original must be stolen, so Rupertus goes to the Count's estate and accidentally spots Marie. A little later, she overhears the men talking and sees Dietmar showing the land documents to the new guest. As soon as the Count leaves, Rupertus pays Jodocus to steal the documents. Marie informs on the priest, but realizes that he will take her life, so she plays along with Jodocus, helping him steal the documents. Later, Marie tells the Count and his wife about it, promising to help catch the thief. She is ready to help, but only if the influential couple shows her to the king. Dietmar is outraged by the girl's audacity and orders her to be beaten, but the Count's wife stops the violence and accepts the conditions. Jodocus runs away and hides in an old mill, but both Rupertus and Marie know about it. The girl hurries to the priest but arrives too late and sees him falling asleep in eternal sleep. Utz immediately attacks her, but Marie stabs him in the leg and takes the life of the offender who has robbed her of her honor and dignity. To hide the evidence, she burns down the mill and stays the night at Madeleine's house. At night, Marie goes for a walk and sees a real bacchanal on the streets. In the crowd, she is found by the man she bit on the hand and taken to an inn. A crowd of drunken men decides to take advantage of the harlot, but at the last moment she is saved by Michel, who happens to be in the inn. Stopping by the river, the couple discusses everything that happened between them. Marie wants to meet the king and will get justice at any cost, even if Michel won't help her. Rupertus again demands that Count Kyleberg recognize him as his son, but he refuses. The man would like to take the bastard's life, but does not do so, because this act will not change the situation. In the evening, Marie meets King Sigmund and draws his attention to herself. Meanwhile, Michel decides to forget about his first love and spends the night in bed with Gerlina, but it doesn't help him. Marie makes love to the king and in the morning tries to tell him about the injustice against her, but Sigmund leaves the bedroom because he has urgent business. The traveling harlots rebel because other women are taking their jobs. Marie joins them and goes to the central square to meet with the king. Michel resigns from her position as assistant to the Pfalzgraf and leaves the city. When Marie meets Sigmund again, she asserts herself, accusing Kyleberg, his son, and the judge of making false accusations against her. The king is ready to listen to the girl and make a fair decision, but he needs witnesses or evidence. At this point, Michel returns to the square after interrogating Linhart. Realizing that the deception has been exposed, Rupertus attacks Marie but injures her friend. His actions only confirm his guilt, so the king sentences the bastard to death and his father and the judge to imprisonment. Justice is done, and Marie gets her father's land back. The church court finds her innocent, and she meets Michel on the riverbank, and realizes that their love for each other is just as strong. If you have watched the video so far, You should know that I'm happy to have viewers like you. Thank you for watching to the end. Subscribe to the channel and follow the news. OLEJA Recapped was with you. See you soon.